I realized we definitely do not have principles, because principles are unchanging. That doesn't mean if you get more information, you change your mind about a certain thing. You can change your mind about, facts, not facts, politics, whatever, when you go, oh, I didn't realize that's the way it is, so you change. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about situation to situation. You can't say, we'll take it the easy one of, well, is it really stealing? Is it really wrong if I'm starving and I steal a loaf of bread? Yes, it is. It is still stealing, and it is still wrong. That is really hard for women. That whole idea that somehow it's not different because of the circumstances. And we just think that if the reasons are a certain way or the circumstances are a certain way, then the principles or morals suddenly change. So we women are very, very good at practicing moral relativism. So this means that, we can lie if it's for a good reason. And the thing about women is that we will twist it into a good reason if we want to tell the lie bad enough. We'll tell a lie for one reason, but twist it into, well, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I doubt that's the real reason. This is what they do.
And when will that ever change? And why is it this way to this day? How did we go about rectifying the situation after the Garden of Eden? It's one reason why Adam got in trouble too. He got majorly busted. Why? He didn't talk to the serpent, right? It wasn't his idea, but he listened to Eve, and he basically followed her and obeyed her rather than following and obeying God. And so that was not, God didn't like that so much. So since then it was like, okay, well, Eve, woman, this is where you will be. You will be sort of within the family. You will be in your place. And to our modern day ears, that sounds oppressive, right? That sounds controlling. How can you be happy when you don't have opportunities and career and a life of your own and whatever else we've been trained to think women should have or women should want? And the truth of the matter is, we don't actually want those things. How do I know? Well, history. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of man, woman, child. God, man, woman, child. Family, right? And whether or not you believe in the Bible, hopefully you can see that that system worked and people were happy, right? It wasn't modern day happiness, aka pleasure, seek pleasure. Basically, do as thou wilt, right? The satanic mantra. It wasn't that.
Number of women, a huge percentage of women who their whole lives never actually reach orgasm. And a lot of women will tell you that it's really difficult to do that with someone that they are not connected with, don't feel comfortable with. So if they're having, one night stands or hookups or what have you, don't believe that it's not the same as how it is for a man. It's just not. Women are way more complicated than that. Physiologically, just to get that going and, make the magic happen, it's a lot more complicated. And mentally, we are a lot more complicated. We do not compartmentalize the way that men can. So people can all day long say, oh, women have these needs. Oh, no, they don't bond and lose something every time they sleep with another man and then lose the ability to pair bond later on. You can say all that, but I would encourage you to look at the divorce rate, to look at the depression rates since the sexual revolution. Take a look at some of these 304s that, you know, are dressed. You can't tell that. I know I sound like I'm 80 years old now, but you can't tell the difference between who's a hooker and who's just like going out for the night. I mean, it's incredible. It's embarrassing, and frankly it's sad to see these women just letting it all just hang out. You're an advertisement. And don't say, oh, I dress this way for myself, I like to look cute. Bull crap. You don't dress that way in your house.
Very taboo, but like, just don't waste your time on broke men. Only date men with money. As a young single woman, you have two options. You can date men with money, and you can date men with no money.
Shut up.
This is my...
Oh, yeah. Well, that is what they'll just come right out and say. First of all, is it true? Yes, it's true. And it is evident when you look at the richest women in the world and how they got their money. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, yeah, they got it through divorce. That is just like shameless about the virtue. This is virtue signaling in disguise, is what it is. There.
Children don't suffer.
Oh,
People
so my
like,
children
she's
don't
a gold
suffer.
digger. She wants a guy with money. I'm trying to look for my
ends it on that.
husband and the father of my children.
She ends it on, so my children don't suffer. Okay. I know it seems like I get lost in the minutia, but that's where the truth lies with women. We use our words specifically to give an impression to you or to the world, whomever, when there's actually something else there. So that my children don't suffer. Okay, there's the virtue signaling. I care about children. I love my children. I'm putting my children first. La, 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 la. Right? That can really dazzle a man who wants children and wants a woman who wants children and seems like she'll be a good mother. That's why she's doing that. She knows that. And she's like, well, I didn't lie. I mean, if you can dress up your gold digging, I guess it's not gold digging anymore. But so they won't suffer. I'm sorry. What is your definition of suffering? Is it not going on expensive vacations every year? Is it not having a brand new car every year? Is it not having a big McMansion? Is that what your idea of suffering is? Because you don't look like you're right now in any type of situation where you're suffering. I don't think she really knows what it is to suffer, except to not get everything she wants and not have luxury. She's watching and commenting, and I appreciate her. And there's a few more, and I appreciate you if you're a woman and you're watching and you've woken up. Yay. We gotta talk. We've got to share this, us women, because we women are the ones that share information. There's a reason why, Jesus appeared to the women first, because he wanted it to spread. The women are going to go talk about it. The men are going to be like, oh my goodness, what did I just see? The women are going to be like hurrying back to the village and be like, oh my goodness gracious, she won't believe who I just saw. And they're going to talk about it. And that's what we need to do. We need to talk about it. We need to say, hey, we got to stop treating our men like this. We got to stop letting them be so lonely. Encourage their friendships, support them, say good things about them, give them the respect they deserve just for the fact that they're men. We need to do this. We need to take responsibility and, start speaking the truth once we've figured it out. And I know it's hard. It took me a long time to start opening up and thinking, oh my God, these women are going to hate me. And some of them do. Some of them do now. But I'm at the point, I don't care. I don't care. I look at the, the friends I may lose, and I look at the men who have suffered and are suffering. How am I going to choose these friends? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the truth. I'm going to give it power. Oh boy. Just making sure I did not forget any of the things I wanted to mention. Lastly, I think feminism will fail ultimately because you can't disrupt God's order.
A comment I got in the last few days was, "Thank you for telling me I'm not the only one." There are literally men out there that think they're the only ones that have suffered at the hand of a woman through divorce, family court, dating, being treated as, invisible, all of this. There are men out there that really think it's them. And it breaks my heart to think that they actually think it's them, because it's not them. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you guys. Now, are we perfect? Nobody's perfect, but that's the good stuff. The idiosyncrasies, the stuff that makes us weird, that's the good stuff, right? I mean, I'm of a certain age where testing starts to need to be done, colonoscopies and such. And you know what? It's not just, okay, this is going to sound like, why did she talk about that? Because marriage, love, is being there when somebody's going through their colonoscopy prep. And they drive you to your colonoscopy. They pick you. It's that. I think I've said this before. It's when you're stinky and grumpy and, messy and all of the things that are the worst parts about you. And the other person is like, you are still my favorite person. That is love. That's how God's love is. I have to be a little bit quiet. I hope you can hear me. I live with some friends. They are not of my same political leanings. But I had a thought. You know how we've got this whole pandemic going on? Plandemic. Oh, I mispronounced it. Excuse me, censorship. I meant pandemic. You know how there's teachers unions in LA and Chicago, and the vaccine is out. They've done some mitigating, like they've got plastic separation, and some of them have new ventilation systems. Some of them have partitions. Teachers have been creative. At least in the beginning, they were posting pictures of how they could arrange their classrooms. But now, overwhelmingly, they don't want to go back to work. They don't want to go, they don't want to go back to the classroom to go back to work. And there's all these reasons why it's much safer now. Supposedly, children don't generally pass it on to the teachers, etc. So why don't they want to go back? Why don't they want to go back? One of the people in my household is a teacher, so I don't want to offend her. I love her, but like most people, she's misguided. So I kind of say, forgive her, for she knows not what she does. That's just how I have to think of it. Anyway, it's a personal thing. But these teachers have been home. They've been home where they belong, with their own children.